So after yesterday's reveal, a lot of things really blew out of proportion, and here I am to talk about it because I feel like after reading all of your comments, it's actually wrong what went down yesterday. And, well, we're basically here to cover that, and I've been speaking to a lot of you guys, and by the way, if you would like to talk to me one-to-one, either about, building a YouTube channel, or a business, or just simply about this game, you can go ahead and book a call with me. I'll leave a link in the description below, and that's how I've been speaking to a lot of you guys over the last week, which has been really a ton of fun. I mean, we've literally had so many different discussions, and, well, basically, here we are. Yesterday's reveal, I was super ecstatic about it. I was pretty much in the moment, right, just saying, well, hey, here's the official DLC, it does look really good, but that's actually not the case, and I think this is actually a really bad move, and something needs to be changed. In fact, being a voice of the community, not just myself, but all of you guys in the comments as well, and by the way, drop a like on this video if you haven't already. But going back to the actual subject, being a voice of the community, and also a lot of you guys in the comments basically being that voice as well, that I'm able to just push forward alongside all the other creators doing their bits in the community as well, having to wait this long is actually insanity. Now, I know this DLC is free, okay, and trust me, like, I don't actually argue that fact because I'm excited that you don't have to pay any money whatsoever to get this DLC. But I feel like after yesterday's reveal, now that I've had time and things have sat in, what we actually got was something rather crazy in the sense of, like, I don't feel like a lot was really thought through in what was showcased. I mean, for example, yesterday was Black Panther's 3-year anniversary, and that alone was a huge opportunity to show something Black Panther related. Even as crazy as it sounds, we've already seen stuff like his helmet in the screenshot with Maestro, etc, etc. So in that perspective, even like a cinematic shot of that would have been something, right? It would have actually been something, just a little reminder that, hey, he's next up or he's coming soon. We can't really argue the fact that Hawkeye's DLC itself is not good. Like, that genuinely does look good, and the cosmetics do look good. We're not going to argue that. But you guys know I've been talking about, like, the next gen release date being basically that time to literally rekindle their trust with the community and have that free opportunity that they're not going to get for like another 5-6 years, maybe a bit longer, depends on when the next gen consoles will come out, right? But you get what I'm trying to say here, because it's basically like another opportunity to relaunch your game. And all they done yesterday was drop a release date, 18th of March. Next gen release version for this game is dropping, and sure, I mean, visually things did look great yesterday, especially in the screenshots, but there was so much opportunity right there to basically talk a little bit more in depth on what we were actually going to see with the next gen release date, because right now what they just pulled yesterday is a crazy marketing move. Because how do you announce a next gen version and kind of almost expect a lot of sales to be driven up if really you're not showing a whole bunch? And I know there was like these graphic information sheets that went out yesterday, but seeing something like reading like differences and actually seeing them on screen are of course two complete different scenarios, right? You can actually visualize, hey, is it going to be worth to purchase this game? Well, I mean, the good thing is it's technically a free upgrade, but if you're not upgrading to, of course, the PlayStation 5 from PlayStation 4, for example, and you're in a position where this is going to be your first time purchasing the game on new gen consoles, you're going to be a new player, then you really need to question yourself, of course, like, what's the difference in purchasing this game on the PlayStation 5? Bear in mind prices, I don't know the exact price for the next gen version, but in general, video games for next gen consoles are slightly higher than they were, of course, on the current gens or last gens, whatever you want to call them. So I don't know if that has an immediate effect on that, but my point still stands, right? Like, what's the difference with the backwards compatibility and the actual new, brand new, all new content, well, not content, but graphical wise, of the PlayStation 5. I just feel it was a little bit strange. I know that I do say between now, because we're basically still 1 month and 1 day until we're going to be getting Hawkeye's DLC and the next gen release. So hey, I know that we're going to be in a position where we're probably going to find out a lot more, but as scary as it does sound, I still wouldn't really be shocked if we got the silent treatment until the 18th of March. And that's just something that they've unfortunately brought upon themselves. And when I've been speaking to you guys over the last couple of days, we all come up with the same thing, right? Which is, hey, the devs are literally at the front line. Like, they're just simply being paid to do their job that they aspire to do, and basically deliver good content. but I'm sure they sign NDAs and whatever behind the scenes and get shoved onto, or pushed on, should I say, to other projects. I don't know if that's like a part of contracts. I don't really know how that works. Again, my point still stands with they probably know so much and really just want to say, hey, this is what we're working on, or hey, we finished a character model. Like, that's something I'm sure they would like to say, but they can't because they're restricted. However, you know, from like the big guys behind basically funding this game and the marketing, the devs are basically like, it's literally like saying, hey, there's a battlefield, go ahead and go front line, but you're not like the you're not like the captain of the army, for example. You're not the one controlling it, so you're just literally being put front line for no reason and having to take these shots by the community. That's unfortunately what's going down with the devs. But again, like, a big thing is, and this is the only problem, it's basically all about rekindling trust. And sure, we're going to find ourselves in a situation, and as scary as it sounds, I don't want this to be a situation, but we know that recently their sales figures technically put Marvel's Avengers in a profitable state. The only reason they weren't in a profitable state was not just the sales in general, but also because of like how much was spent on the marketing. And when you look at the marketing strategy as well, again, something I've been speaking with a lot of you guys about, it's like they spend like money on TV spots, for example, right? And in the UK, I know a TV spot is like crazy. Like, you're talking like 30 to 60 seconds being like 300 grand easily, without a doubt, especially if it's in prime time. And that alone is a big chunk of money, especially considering you're not actually targeting probably the correct people anyway, because like, let's be honest, how many people do go ahead and watch television, right? You watch YouTube, you watch Netflix, you're on the internet, right? That's where your core attention is, and most likely where people who would play the game are going to be. So a TV spot in some sort of, you know, perspective is completely pointless. And I feel like if they're going to push a lot of the marketing on the PlayStation 5 version as well, then that's where we're going to stand. But forget that. That's another thing. That's a whole different story. The key thing that people are still frustrated about is the fact that, hey, where is the communication? Like, hey, why go ahead and drop all that info yesterday, but really kind of give a lot of people such little, and then having to wait basically the whole month is a really, really dry period. And again, people just want new content. People want to be able to play the game, and I have to keep stressing, we all know we got $60 worth as far as content, story, and whatever it goes are the key fundamentals to a video game. So I'm entirely grateful to have free DLC, but communication sucks, and I don't want to compare them to another, I guess, studio, but when you look at CD Projekt Red, all they done, right, all this time before Cyberpunk wasn't appealing to me, just because that's just not my type of, I guess, genre of a video game, but they basically, and you have to give credit to them, they built a massive audience based on the communication. And this is something that is still not in the devs' control. Bear in mind, do not attack them, don't attack anyone, right? But if someone high up in Square Enix or Crystal Dynamics are watching this is the problem. Like, people, you know, done theories about it being a cash grab, and it almost still feels that way in some sort of way, like pushing Hawkeye's DLC with a PlayStation 5 release when you kind of know that Hawkeye isn't that big character. It would have made way more sense to release a Black Panther DLC with the PlayStation 5 and next-gen launch overall, but that's my 2 cents on it. I think it's absolutely crazy now thinking about it. But guys, that's going to wrap up this video here. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, have yourselves a ridiculously amazing day, and adios amigos.